Everyone, Craig Williams here, back with another video. In this video I'm going to cover the amplitude envelopes, the modulation envelopes, and the LFOs. This is, in my opinion, sort of where you can really shape a sound and start being really creative with what you do. You can really begin to, if you get a grip on this is where you can start to make some really cool stuff and sort of push away from just putting a saw wave on and then just trying to put some EQs and compressors on there and try and make it sound good. This is where you can make it have more punch by modulating the cutoff and stuff like that, or you can use pitch modulation to create filters and stuff like that, or even amp envelopes to create build-ups or to make your sounds. If you've got a pad sound, you can make it give it not so much punch. It would just sort of give a bit more ambience to it. So first up, some of you guys might know this, a lot of you guys might know this, but for the people that don't, I'll sort of just cover it. So as you can see up here, it's got the ADSR, and this is the ADSR, which is attack, decay, sustain, and release. So obviously the attack here is, so if we were to, we've got a really low attack at the moment. Let's just give that a little bit more. It's kind of a nothing sound, but as we increase the attack, you can see you've probably all played with it, and I'm just trying to put it in terms that give you a picture of what's actually sort of going on behind the scenes. So that's this value here, the attack here. This is how fast the initial sound will come on. Obviously, if you've got a really slow attack, this will be angled a lot more and the sound will come in a lot more gradual. If you have a really short attack, which is here, it'll be obviously a lot steeper, and the sound will have a lot more bite at the start. The decay is the it's from when it hits its the highest value and then comes down to the sustained value. So on this one we've got no decay on there. If we pull the sustain down, you'll start to. So our sound at the moment is going up and then down. It's just going up and then back down to virtual nothing. We've got no sustain, no release. So the sound, as I just said before, is just going up the attack and then pretty much back down for the decay. If we were to increase the sustain, goes back to normal again, and then so it's going attack, a little bit of decay, and then it's sustaining out. So that's our sustain at full. And then the release obviously is how fast the sound goes from the sustain level back down to zero amplitude. So as we increase it, this will increase here, so it will get longer and longer. As you can hear, it just fades out. Now, something really easy to do with just amp envelope and an oscillator, something I like to do, is you don't always have to reach for a hi-hat sample. You can just pull this down, Probably can't really hear that, but there's a little hi-hat there. Little hi-hat sound. And then if you want to, for a little build-up, as you can see, I've got a fair bit of release. This isn't actually affecting the sound at the moment. But as we increase the decay, it's going up far enough and then giving enough so it actually has a release on the sound. So it's just one way you can apply just the amp envelope to a simple noise oscillator to create something a little bit different, and some little hi-hats there. Let's initialize that. And next up, we'll talk about the modulation envelopes. They act pretty much the same way that the amp envelope acts with the ADSR envelope, except you can apply parameters to get modulated. So let's do something nice and simple. Just got a saw wave there. Let's thicken up the sound a bit. Put a low pass on it. And I like the sound, but I don't like, I want more bite to the sound. So if I take the filter off, I like that, but I want more bite to the sound. So apply a low pass filter, give it a little bit of drive, a little bit of resonance, a little bit of warm drive, and I want to come down here and I want to do the cutoff. So these are the positive and negative values. So this is sort of the amount, and then this is just applying what you're going to apply it to. So again, the same as we had the decay on here, we're just going to do it to the decay. You can hear straight away. So if I take that off, put that on, there you go, there's like stab sound straight away. So I'm probably not sort of explaining it the best way, but it's just the modulation envelope is the way that you can apply this filter to different sections of your synth. Same as in Massive, how you can just sort of click and drag the envelopes to different parts. This is just a menu, and then you can select in here instead of going, okay, I want cutoff A, and just clicking and dragging this over to cutoff A. You just select it in there instead. One thing you can use this for is if you want like a riser effect. So see, because it's just, I've got the negative value, so it's starting low and then rising up. And I've got it to pitch A, and then I've got the decay really slow, so a really large amount of decay, so it's taking a long time to get up there. Again, if you were to go the other way, it's obviously starting at the highest note and then dropping down. So go ahead and just play around with different things like the pitch and the cutoff. Those are the two sort of main things that you'll find on most of your sounds. Like if we go through and the key, you can start to see here they got the cutoffs applied. So if we were to take them off, it's just a sort of a whatever sound. And then if you apply them, there you go. So it's just a little bit of playing around with the envelopes and seeing how they act and react to each other can really shape your sounds. Lastly, what we have is the LFO section. So if I initialize the preset, again, like we talked about in the first video, you've got the sync. So this is how you can run it free or you can run it synced. And also a good way to know is if you have a hertz in free mode, or when you're synced, it will have note values. So this is the rate at which the LFO will work. And then this is the different parameters you can apply it to. So if you want to pitch A, and then we've chosen the negative value, and then how much. So the gain is effectively how the sort of the amplitude of the LFO. And again, all it is just a little bit of playing around and seeing how things work. For my opinion, the LFO and this synth isn't really that good for making sort of those big wobble basses and stuff like that, but for making real sort of fidgety and good sort of solid electro patches, it's decent, but I wouldn't sort of tend to reach for this synth when I'm trying to make those sort of big sounds. Most of the time I would sort of go with the sort of standard as massive or something like that. Further on, in this sort of the modulation panel, we've got the miscellaneous stuff where you can assign stuff like your mod wheel, which is this one here, and then you can have it so the cutoff is reacted to this. Instead of having to use this, you can have it so it's the mod wheel, and then you can use your MIDI controller to control that. Again, you can usually set, there's a whole heap of stuff, and once you start to sort of go through the different patches, you can start to see that they've really gone in deep with the presets and started routing everything to everything. So it's good to also see how they've done these sounds and then sort of reverse engineer them and try and pick up tips and tricks to create your own individual sounds. But if you can get a handle on using the mod envelopes to shape your sounds, it's where you're really going to get some solid sounds, whether that be basses or effects or lead sounds or something like that. That's about it for now. If you've got any further questions, or if you think that I've described something wrong, just feel free to write in the comments. I'm only human, and I sort of want everyone to get the best information, not if I'm giving out something wrong. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to head over to my Facebook channel, Facebook page, and my SoundCloud. Lots of free music on there. Until next time, see you later.